Hello, Carrie Rhoades here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope that you're having a fabulous week. I am kicking off my new stamp set of the month series because it's a new month. Happy July. And the stamp set that I have chose for this month is super fun. I love it because it has so many images that remind me of when I was young, and so I can't wait to make cards with this stamp set. And maybe you can look at my dress here and realize when I was young might have been in the 80s, so you might see some 80s inspired cards this month. So make sure you come back every Monday because I will have a new project featuring this stamp set of the month, which happens to be the Good Mix stamp set and die set from HoneyBee. So you can see that here on the screen. So many fun images and dies in this set. There's also some coordinating products that I will be using from HoneyBee to work with my creations, some different sentiments and die sets. So I'll be showcasing those as well. Now make sure that you leave a comment below and let me know which of the two cards I make today is your favorite. I will then draw out a name and will give away your favorite card to you if I pull your name. So make sure you leave a comment below and then I will announce the winner next week on my part 2 video. Speaking of that, if you watched the June stamp set of the month series and commented on my last video, you have a chance to win this card right here. Cute. So the winner will flash across the screen right now. Congratulations. I will be in touch with you to get your address and get your card out in the mail to you right away. So with all that being said, I think we should go ahead and stamp. All right, let's take a look at this super cute HoneyBee stamp set with the boom box, the mixed tape, the record player, the headphones. Yeah, I'm gonna have so much fun with this set. We're gonna start out this card with a background that is going to be sprayed with Electric Lime Splash from Fun Stamper's Journey. So you just want to shake up the bottle gently before you spray it. I'm going to spray it here with a fine mist, and then I'm going to do where you pull the trigger down halfway to get that splatter look. We're going to set that aside to dry because it does have some big splatters on it, and clean up the work surface. Next, I'm going to stamp the images I need for this card. I'm using the boombox and the mixtape because they're my favorite, and so I had to use them first. I'm going to ink those up with VersaFine Onyx black ink on some Bristol smooth paper so that I can color these with my Zig markers. I have 3 of the mixed tapes there, and I'm going to color these with some bright colors, some fluorescent colors, because that's how it was in the 80s. In fact, I colored this boombox with fluorescent pink because I might have had a pink boombox and I loved it. I wish I still had it. It was so cute. It played cassettes. I could tune in with a dial to the radio station of my choice. Yeah, it was super cool. I loved it. So just putting pink everywhere that I want the boombox to be pink, and then I'll blend that out with the Zig blender pen and spread that color out. So it looks fluorescent pink, but it's not so overwhelming. I didn't want it to be too bright on the front of this card, and so that's why I use the blender pen to blend out that color. So yeah, I love it. It's really cute. So after the pink, then I'm going to add some gray details to the front of this. So I'm using the gray marker, and I have listed all the names and numbers of the markers I'm using at the top right. No, it's the left corner, the top left corner of the screen for you. But I'm blending out that gray with light gray and then blending the edges of that out with the blender pen. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this little area, the window where the cassette would go, that you could see inside and you could see the cassette going round. Yeah, loved it. So then I'm using just the light gray to go in and around the area where these buttons are. For the buttons, I'm using 2 markers, light blue and turquoise green. So covering it with the light blue and then just putting a dot of the turquoise on the edge and blending that out with the light blue. And then let's put some more fluorescent colors in there. We have fluorescent orange and fluorescent yellow. Love those. Now I'm taking a micron liner pen and making the little lines where you would turn the dial to select your radio station. I also use that pen to crisp up the line at the top of the radio that kind of, it didn't stamp really good. So it was very helpful for that. And then I'm going to do the same 2 gray colored markers for the background or the base of the cassette tapes. And then I'm going to color the labels of those with 3 different fluorescent colors: yellow, orange, and green fluorescent markers. I love that the Zig has fluorescent colors, and I'm finally playing with them and I'm so happy. So what I did is I just outlined that and then used the blender to blend it out. When I was ready to die cut these, I noticed that I did not color in the little levers, buttons, dials on the side, so I just took the gray and filled those in, and then use the coordinating dies to go ahead and die cut these out. And look how fun they are. I love it. So I'm going to lay these on my background that is now dry as a placement guide so that I can figure out where to place the sentiment that I want to stamp. So I'm bringing in a new stamp set. This is the Rockstar Sentiments and die set. I couldn't help but get this stamp set to go with Rockstar Sentiments. Like, it's amazing. So many cool combinations you can make with that set. So you'll be seeing me use that again and again. And then I pulled out some of the little filler images from the Good Mix stamp set. There's a lightning bolt, a heart, a star. Yeah, I know. If you love the 80s, like, you're maybe wigging out like I am. That's what you used to say, wigging out, right? All right, so let's stamp those with the same VersaFine Onyx black ink, and we have some fun accents on there. I really thought I was going to die cut that sentiment, but I ended up just stamping it right on there. But I did die cut the center of my layered piece so that I don't waste all that black cardstock, because I really just have a border that's about 1/16 of an inch all the way around of my front piece. So the front piece measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and then the panel that it's mounted to, the black piece, is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So you can see I really just need a little edge, and I don't want to waste that paper. So before I stuck my images on, I went ahead and took my Wink of Stella and I filled in the heart and other pieces so that they had some shimmer on them, and I really love that little extra added detail. And you can just see that shimmer when you pick up the card and turn it in the light. It's awesome. All right, so we're mounting all of those stamped images onto the card front with some foam tape, and they'll just pop right up there. And I'm just loving how this card is coming together. I thought for this series, for July, it would be really fun to do 2 cards. And one card would be my main card, like I'm making right now, and the second card would be a version of the first card. So I'll change something up, like the colors, or keep the layout the same and use different images or something like that. So you'll see that coming up in card number 2 in just a minute. I'm using foam tape to mount my card front onto my card base, which is Electric Lime cardstock from Fun Stamper's Journey, and it measures 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it in the middle at 5 1/2 to make this card base. So there's the first card, and I love how this turned out. So let's make a second version of this card using some different colors. So for my background, I am also using the splashes from Fun Stamper's Journey, but I'm going to use gold and silver. So this card is going to be metallic. So I'm going to try and do both the fine mist by squeezing the trigger all the way, and then also get some splatter by squeezing it halfway down, just like we did on the green one. So I got gold and silver. I'm putting a little bit more gold on top because it got covered up a little bit. But what you might not be able to see is the amazing metallic shimmer on that card. Oh my word. So good. So now I'm stamping the boombox on a piece of Riverstone cardstock with the same black ink, and I'm going to emboss that with clear powder. So it's going to be raised up and shiny off of that gray paper. So this is more your basic boombox, you know, nothing fluorescent and girly about this one. So there you go. And then I'm doing the same thing with the cassette tapes and embossing those, but on white paper this time. So we'll melt that powder, and the raised up edge of the embossed image really is nice for coloring in. And for coloring on this one, I'm going to be using the Just Right gel pens from FSJ. So here's my tip about coloring with gel pens. They need to be treated very gently. Like the tip of this is a paintbrush. When you color these on your paper, you want to just barely push down, and they really work best that way. They really like it. So I suggest just gliding them over the top of your paper, and you're going to get a much better result, and your pens will continue to work, because in order for that ink to come out, that ball inside the pen needs to be able to roll around freely, and when we press hard, we limit that, and that's what can cause the pen to not work as well. So I'm also taking the same gel pens and accenting a few spots on my boombox. I thought I wasn't going to color this in at all, but once I started coloring with these gel pens, and they're so amazing, I decided to go ahead and put some accents on here. So it's a very metallic card, and I think it goes for, you know, maybe somebody who's more into like the heavy metal music. So we'll go ahead and take our background and stamp the same images we did on the first card with the same black ink, and then we'll have the cute accents that I love in the corner and a good sentiment. We're a good mix for mixed tapes. Yeah, I try to tell my daughter that's what we used to do. We make mixed tapes of all of our favorite songs, and I would record my favorite song off the radio. Like, you have to be dedicated to do that. And I mounted that card front onto a frame of gold mirror paper. Like, I for sure do not want to waste that gold paper. So that's where the rectangle die comes in very nicely for cutting out the center of that. I die cut my images, and before I stuck them on, I decided I did want to accent the heart and star and whatnot on this card as well. So I pulled out my Journey Glaze to do that. And then to spread it out into those tiny little corners, I'm just using a pin to do that. And then we can go ahead and mount those on with foam tape as well. And this card turned out really good. One thing to note about the gel pens, you really want to give them plenty of time to dry before you handle them. So an hour even. These are really wet gel pens, so just be careful of that. All right, so there's the two cards. I would love it if you would leave a comment below and tell me which card is your favorite, because next week on my part 2 video, I'm going to announce a winner, and you could win the card that you commented was your favorite. So like this video, leave a comment, and you could win the card. That's simple as that. All right, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you've enjoyed the making of these cards, and you'll come back next week for another creation with the Good Mix stamp and die set. Everything I used is linked for you below, and if you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe. Happy stamping! Bye!